If you don't do the things that are the latest needs of the algorithm, which they've figured out are the ways that actually keep the most people engaged and on the platform, then your stuff doesn't convert. Now, the irony is if you actually insert some sort of conversion message in your post, it actually drives down the algorithmic reach. So even the thing you need in order to cultivate survival and pay your bills, etc., run your business, actually impacts the reach you get unless you're converting people on their platform through your shop or whatever it might be. So one, nothing is ever enough. The algorithm's always a mystery. The moment you figure it out, it changes. Think about that. That's exactly like being in a relationship with a narcissist. Love bombing is a lot like you get this sense of virality. They give you a little bit, then they take it away. If you say the wrong thing, you can lose everything, which is very similar to financial abuse. So I've been really reconciling all these feelings that I have about this heaviness of like, how do I be in relationship to this thing? And the natural process that we go through when we wake up to this reality that we're saying yes to something in our lives that doesn't feel good for us, that's not relational, that's not generative, that's not saying, you know what, I give this to you, you give things to me. That's what healthy relating is, that they don't come with conditions, right? And we're participating in every relationship we're in our lives. So I'm not the victim of these circumstances. However, there are behavioral scientists that are in charge of actually making sure that all this stuff happens, that I stay on a platform and do everything and keep going and going and going because there's never enough content. When's the perfect time to post? What music should you use? Like, it's never enough. And that's exhausting to the nervous system. That's exhausting to our system to be in a relationship with something that has so much power over us. I remember journaling, like, why do I resent Instagram? And I was like, oh, I resent it because I feel powerless. Why do I feel powerless? Because the way I relate to it is that I actually give away my power for it. And I depend on it. As you hear any of this, just know none of it is a complaint. I'm not complaining about it because it's a reality of the world. But I am saying I need to change my relationship to it. Because by being in relationship to it, I'm agreeing to it. And in that conversation I was having with Sarah, I was talking about my book, Liberated Love. And I was saying I can't, in good conscience, be in the type of relationship that I have with my wife, that the book walks you through how to create, and be in a relationship with something that's abusive somewhere else. I can't possibly experience the level of reverence that my wife and I have cultivated for one another, the celebration of our own voices, the celebration of each other coming alive, and then be in this other relationship that's completely not congruent for me. So I made a decision. And that decision is to get my life in complete alignment with what it means to be liberated in any form of relationship. I talk a lot about taking leaps, trusting what's on the other side. I've done this multiple times in my life. I know that when you jump, there is something just sacred about it. The idea that when you leap, the net appears. But that sounds great. That sounds like something someone on mushrooms would say to you. And I know it conceptually, it's true every time I've done that, where I follow the call, the deeper thing that's being asked of me. I'm caught. I'm supported. And so when I say to you things like, follow it, trust what's a deeper knowing, I can't say that to you without doing it myself. And it's that level of integrity that I need to have in every area of my life. And when I finally said to Sarah, I need to delete my Instagram, I need to delete my Meta accounts. And I was like, wow, it feels like a truth that I've known, but I've just tried to figure out how to be in relationship with this thing, right? Like I said, when we feel powerless in relationship, we tend to just push away the relationship because we don't know how to relate to it. So I tried to relate to it differently for a little while. And now I've gotten enough information that I can also look back and say that journey that I've been on to try to figure it out was necessary to make sense of the feeling I had. Sometimes when we delay leaps, when we delay choices, we can shame ourselves for the delay. But what we're actually doing is giving context and more information to what we feel in our intuition and our body. So we're coming back to deeper connection and trust with ourselves. But in order to trust yourself more, you have to make choices that are about leaping based on the intuitive guidance that you have. So I want to make this a public declaration that I am deleting my Instagram on June 1st. You might be thinking, well, do I have a positive relationship to these social media platforms? Am I in an abusive dynamic with them? I'm not projecting onto you that this is true for you too. It might not be. It's like alcohol. I don't have a healthy relationship with alcohol. That's why I don't drink. So what I do invite, though, is an inquiry as to what is your version of Instagram? What is a no? What do you need to delete? What do you need to get rid of out of your life that's not in alignment, that's actually holding you back from another level? Like, I think about the level of possibility in my relationship to my wife and my son and family and my creativity when I stop putting energy into this thing that is really using me as a conduit to extract other people's attention. When you think about it and you're creating content based on what the algorithm wants, what you're doing is actually shifting to engage more attention so that it can be monetized by the platforms. So you become a conduit for extraction. How can you not feel depleted? How can you not be anxious? I look now and I'm like, it's pretty obvious why people have anxiety. On top of the uncertainties of the world, anxiety at its root is an inhibitory feeling, which means that we don't have access to full self-expression. We don't have access to our fullest voice. Social media platforms, are you kidding me? If you say the wrong thing, talk about the wrong thing, you're gone. You're censored. You're shadow banned. That's not a mystery. That's a truth. I've had it. I've experienced it. We'll take away your business if you say the wrong thing, if you're not on the right side of the dialogue. How does that cultivate psychological safety in any way? I refuse to participate in any relationship that does not have mutual positive regard. And look, I look at social media and I think, is this the cold calling of today? Like, is just this the necessary part of business? And I'm like, no, because even agreeing to that level of constant extraction is saying that it's okay for something to exploit you.